So I'm basically heading the transformation services at Marlabs, and we've been in business for the last 2 decades. We're a global transformation organization helping our clients to basically look at how disruption is basically changing the way they do business, and how do we apply technology today to be able to enable them and to be able to take advantage of that disruption. So at Marlabs, I've been there for like 12 years, built up the entire solutions business. We have like 3,000 employees worldwide, locations across Asia and North America. So to talk a little bit about disruption, and I think all these topics today that cover were very critical, right, in terms of how do you prepare for your digital roadmap or for your disruption. So Arthur, can I go ahead on this one? So when we sit in the board meetings with a lot of our clients who are like Fortune 100, Fortune 500, they're thinking about how is disruption, which you don't know where it's going to come from. It's not going to come directly from your competitors, right? And the topic is, everyone talks about a decade back, right? How Steve Jobs, with the launch of the iPhone, how he disrupted the entire telephone market. So that everyone realizes that. And off recently, we talked about Elon Musk and Tesla, what it's done to the automotive market, right? I mean, they've gone ahead and they're selling cars directly through the online services, bypassing the dealers. It's disrupted the automobile market, and it's disrupted the entire dealer network. It's disrupted a lot of the ancillary industries which are supplying to the automobile market. However, do we realize that what are the other industries which have got disrupted because of that? 4 years back, when Tesla was just launching their level 1 autonomous car, we were sitting with one of the largest automobile insurance providers in the world. And it's a very interesting statement she made to me. She said that, you know what, I don't worry too much about maybe an insurance firm coming up with an entire e-commerce model like e-insurance, or another insurance competitor coming up with a bundle package with a cheaper price. My worry is, if Tesla with a level 5 autonomy car launches in the next decade, which we know it will happen, and a city probably like Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Europe, one of these cities says that we're going to go fully autonomous and fully electric. How do I change my entire value chain, right? How do I redefine my business? Because my pricing policy and my policy administration modules, my pricing modules are all based off a profile of an individual based on their age, the type of car they want to buy, the color of the car. Now here I have a fully autonomous vehicle, and even if it's a teenager driving it, we all know how our insurance rates go up the moment you put your kids onto the policy. How do I relook at the business, and how do I redefine my business, right? So that basically started to make us think that disruption will not always come directly from your competitors. And you can't miss Amazon when you talk about disruption, right? So what is Amazon to the business, right? Is it a bookstore? Is it a retailer? Is it an electronics store? They started to create content. They're also creating movies. They could probably compete with FedEx and DHL, right? They have the largest logistics network. So when we talk to banks, and I'm sure there were in the prior panel, there were folks from Citi. If you talk to CEOs and CIOs of some of these biggest financial corporations, right? They worry about disruption. They look at Alipay in China and say, what if Amazon with 500 million customer base, if they launch a banking product, they've already got into credit cards, but what if they launch an investment product? Or tomorrow they say, hey, we know everything about you, we have such a good 360-degree view about you, we're going to launch a mortgage product. We can probably provide you with home loans. How do you cope with that type of disruption? And that's what a lot of our customers whom we work with, we are helping them look at it from a business perspective. The technology is always an enabler. We have all these cool technologies which we've been talking about, AR, VR, IoT, blockchain. Great. What's the business driver? So there was an interesting session. I mean, there was a session in Harvard which is on disruptive strategy by a very well-known Professor Sunil Gupta. And I was at one of their sessions at Harvard, and he spoke about a framework which is very, very powerful. We learned as we grew up in 20, 30 years back about Michael Porter and saying, let's look at focus, so let's look at differentiation, and that could be a good strategy. But will that work in today's day and age? You may be the best bank, the most efficiently run bank saying that I'm going to have low cost and high efficiency, you'll still run out of business. You can't compete with a digital bank. So he said, look at it this way, when we speak to our stakeholders, which are the CEOs, CIOs, CMOs, the Chief Logistics Officer, or CISOs, can you reimagine your business for a digital world? Can you reimagine your value chain for a digital world? Can you look at how you're reconnecting with your customers for a digital world, right? If you can do this, now you can start rebuilding your business. So that's where we look at when we are enabling our customers. We're looking at this type of a framework to say, how do you now come up with a strategy, a business strategy for a digital world, rather than a digital roadmap or a digital strategy. So there is a live example of a logistics firm which we are working with right now, and I'm pretty happy to share this with you, because all the cool stuff which we talk about in technology, how is it being applied in a real life scenario, right? So we've been working with this logistics firm. They're into food services and catering. They're the largest in the world, and they cater to industries like organizations, institutions, airlines, and cruise liners. They have a vast network of kitchens and logistics services spanning the globe. So when we sit with them and discuss with them on a quarterly basis with their board, what are the business drivers for them? What are the disruptions that they are facing? What are the changes in some of the consumer behavior that they are observing? And how are they going to basically make their value chain more efficient? So one of the key business drivers was they have a very large wastage in their kitchens, like 20% of food wastage. So that was a talking point that came up with the board. And we said, you know what? You're in the business of logistics and providing these food services, right? Today we have the technology, right? We have IoT. We could basically completely rewire your supply chain, right? But look at the complexity, right? If you look at one segment, we're all waiting. Probably my colleagues over here are flying to California, flying to different parts of the country. You're going to hop onto a plane and say, I'm going to take a direct flight, say from Newark to London or JFK to Singapore. These are 15-hour flights. Do we ever think about, there are no kitchens on the flight, you're taking a 15, 16-hour flight. How do you make sure that the food that comes to you is within the norms that you shouldn't be serving the food beyond 20 hours? Now you had the food prepared in the kitchen, brought to the airplane. If there were any delays because of weather for a couple of hours, and then you take a 16-hour flight, are you compliant? How do you know it? This is one of the challenges that the organization was facing.